Our today's webinar is dedicated to server-based software NumberOk and to access control and parking management in particular. My colleagues, Serhiy Datko and Patrick Leyland, will represent to you this software and will advise about the most popular features. Meanwhile, I will take 3 minutes of your time to represent the company who is vendor of this software. The name of the company is FF Group, and we are very focused on what we are doing only for number plate recognition and MMCR. MMCR is abbreviation for make, model, color, and type of a vehicle recognition. The company started the business in 16 years ago. We've got some 11 years in NPR technology of our own, the experience, and for the last 6 years, we have been developing our applications also at the edge on the camera processors. So at the bottom of this slide, you can see that we've got server-based applications for license plate recognition, and this is NumberOk. Apologies. That is our focus for today, but we also have applications on cameras for robotics, access, Hanwha, and security and safety things that was renamed just yesterday as Athena. And we do both number plate recognition and make and model recognition on the camera processors, embedded, and on the server. For the region that we cover Europe, former Soviet Union, Canada, the United States of America, all 50 states in one library with the state names. Some countries in APAC region, Asia and Oceania, several countries in Africa, and also our latest LPR region is JCC. We are very focused on developing and finalizing the customization of make and model recognition for the United States. And this also includes the rear view recognition of the make and model. That is very important for the United States. Our next step will be Mexico and Latin American countries, mainly Mercosur. For our algorithm, we feature over 97% of vehicle detection and over 95% of license plate recognition accuracy. However, please mention that we count this accuracy percentage out of all vehicles count. And if you simply multiply, you could get the same percentage, like 98 accuracy out of detected vehicles, okay? But in all our documentation, you will see the guaranteed over 95% accuracy in number plate recognition and over 90 in make, model, and color recognition. A reminder, for the United States of America, we target sometime at the end of November, start of December, where we could present make and model for the market. This is the map that features our presence worldwide. I will not stop here. And again, back to NumberOk, to our today's topic. The model range of NumberOk includes several models. Each of them is available just like plain license plate recognition or with make and model recognition. For today, we offer to you to get acknowledged with NumberOk SMB. SMB stands for small and medium business. And at this point, I will pass on my screen to Patrick. Patrick, are you here? The screen is yours.
Yes, I'm just loading it now.
Thank you.
Okay, going into view and present. Okay, so it should be visible now. Good morning for everybody joining us in the United States. My name is Patrick Wayland, and yeah, I'm going to be taking over from my colleague Alexandra, presenting on the NumberOk small medium business, the make, model, and color recognition. However, the FF Group does offer other packages based on the size of the projects, with all the way to NumberOk Meta, working with the Hanwha and Axis cameras. So vehicle access control and parking management. So some of the things we're going to cover today. So the basic access control and the double access control. This is going to be a demonstration of that after my explanation. Some key things to note, though, for the installation of the software: that no USB, no dongle is required for installation and can be used for virtual machines. And unlike many competitors, all features of the NumberOk software are available for 30 days. So this can give yourself, or perhaps your clients, more accuracy as to which features are the most relevant to their project. The channels that are offered on the software are preset numbers. The video channels, so anything from 1 to 36, but please note that these numbers are preset. So if there's a client or a project that involves or wants 15 channels, 16 channels would need to be ordered, or perhaps 20. So important notes on that. And for the free full feature demo, also very important, this is conditional on the standard or the constant internet access. So if there's something like Wi-Fi outage or a power outage, this can affect the demo. This needs to be a constant connection for that 30-day period. So some of the examples we're going to be going over of how the SMB NumberOk software is used in the field. So anything from your basic access control. So this can be the allowed and banned license plates. So very, very simple, you're allowed or you're not. Also, it can be done by a preset time allowance. So this is going to be very useful for parking garages, which is a standard that you give 2 hours for free. Or it could also be a delivery area where a vehicle might only have 15 minutes to deliver their goods and then are set to leave. Access control by available parking spaces. So very key criteria for this, which is going to be accurate measures of how many parking spaces are available. And of course, double access control. So this could be that a vehicle is allowed not only by the license plate, but also the make, model, and color and type recognition, which can be used to prevent anything from unwanted vehicles on a premises to terrorist attacks, where an offender could try to use a stolen license plate and put it to another vehicle to gain access to a perimeter, but that'll be prevented by the double access control. So in the first black-white listed plate, an illustration. As you see here in the center, there's just a simple entrance gate, one camera at the entrance, one at the exit. And this is going to be done in one of the modes of the software. So also important to note that there is an access control mode, aka checkpoint mode, and a parking mode. And they're going to have different features. A parking mode is going to offer more features than the simple checkpoint mode. But in this case, in checkpoint mode, a vehicle pulls into the gate. It's recognized, the gate opens, it passes through, and the same upon leaving. So with make and model color recognition, this can be a little bit deeper recognition, so that would not only recognize the plates, but also the vehicle, and any mismatches can be or will be alerted to the central database. And my colleague later is going to go into what type of alerts one can get, anything from email to an alarm going off. So this could be used also in a combined entrance and exit. This isn't so common, but if there is a case where there's only one lane for both entrance and exit, you can have two channels. So one camera allowing the vehicle in and the other camera to monitor the exits. So access control by preset allowance time. So same concept, vehicle pulls up, it's allowed in. This one, it's going to be open the barrier for all vehicles. So this is going to be more customary in shopping malls, for instance. So any vehicle that pulls up is allowed in, but then you need to take a ticket and you get a preset time allowance that could be free. Usually it's 2 hours, but then otherwise it's going to require payment. This does not connect, though, to a payment system. So the NumberOk SMB is not going to connect to Verify by Visa or any of those things for payment. That's going to be a separate system. Up to 1 million plates can be recognized by the system, so 1,000 groups. So you could set groups like delivery vehicles, different types of customers, residents, etc. Each one of those groups can be up to 1,000 plates, which could give you up to 1 million in total. So much more than most customers would ever need. So about the available parking spaces, and this we're going to use 2 cameras at the entrance, 2 cameras at the exit. So this could be an allowed and banned list. So this is especially useful for residential complexes. Can be used for shopping malls or ports and other type of perimeters as well. So this is going to be in parking mode, not in the checkpoint mode. So this is going to be a little bit more complex. So the first camera upon entrance, as shown here, will scan the license plate and can do the make and model color recognition necessary in the advanced package, and that will open the barrier. Now, what's important about the second camera is that it can be shown if the vehicle actually entered the space or not. So there could be cases where, and I've done this personally, I pull up to a parking garage and then the price list is shown, and I'm saying I'm not going to pay that. So I will just back away and go find somewhere else to park. And in this case, it would only be recorded that the vehicle arrived but did not actually enter. And in this case, if somebody pulls away, if you only have 1 camera, it's going to show that the parking space has been taken. You have 1 less in the parking lot, when that is not actually true. That space could be used or could have been used for somebody else. It's the same upon exiting. So the camera would scan and allow the vehicle to leave, and then a second camera would do the verification as to whether the vehicle actually left, and then calculates the number, the more correct number of parking spaces available. So some of the capabilities of list management, up to 1,000 groups of vehicles, which I've already mentioned. So this could be anything from different categories of delivery vehicles to different categories of residents. It could be doctors for hospitals, doctors, nurses, guests, etc. Many different possibilities, and up to 1 million listed vehicles in total. Now, for the description of the listed vehicles, in addition to license plates, you have other the make, model, and color, but also the owner. So there could be a case where one owner has several cars registered to their name. It's especially true in residential complexes where you have residents with multiple vehicles. And so this would be very effective, so that that owner can register both of their vehicles with the central database, usually the authority of the building, the condo association, or anything similar, and then will be allowed access for both cars. Now, the import of export of license plates is possible. So if, for example, there is somebody moving out and they're deregistering from a complex, if somebody goes on the banned list, if there's something court ordered, like a restraining order, somebody's not allowed to be in a certain area by court orders, the software can be configured to comply with any of those court orders. So you can import new license plates, perhaps for new residents or new allowed vehicles, new delivery vehicles, etc., or you can export them and get rid of them if they are banned or no longer relevant. So to go into a little bit detail more about the types of modes that are available. This isn't the exclusive list, but the most common we're going to be talking about today. So the access control mode and the parking mode. In relevance to the checkpoint mode, so this can open a barrier for listed plates. So you can have your allowed and banned lists, so anything preset. You can open a barrier according to a preset schedule. For example, delivery vehicles might only be allowed at a certain time. You might be allowed a certain number of entrances. This is the case in the Prague airport, where even taxi drivers are only allowed 1 entrance 15 minutes for free every 24 hours. So that one entrance can be calculated using the software as well. And as I mentioned, time allowances can be combined, the one entrance for 15 minutes or a time allowance. So also in port security, this has been implemented as well, where a vehicle might only be allowed in and out to keep the traffic flow at a port without any hindrance. And can calculate the time spent within the parking area, but this is only going to be after the vehicle has already left. And there's going to be a key difference in that with the parking mode. So as we go into parking mode, most commonly it's used for occupancy calculation, management of shopping centers and of business centers, etc. So you can have your calculation per preset vehicle group. This could be in the case of rest areas on the highway, where you might have only a certain number of set aside for trucks and a certain number of parking spaces for passenger vehicles. And they could be set up accordingly and calculated accordingly. But one of the key differences, though, in terms of the managing of the parking time allowance in parking mode versus access control mode, is that in parking mode, you can see how long a vehicle has been in the parking spot currently. So if you wanted to check how long this red vehicle here has been sitting in the parking lot, that can be done. And you can see if that vehicle has much exceeded its time allowance or not. If it's necessary to call a towing vehicle to get removed, that could be done if necessary. And so for the mode choice, and after this, I'm going to be, after one more, I'm going to be handing over to my colleague Sergey. But you see in here, there's the different modes. So you can add anything from the basic recognition, so a simple license plate recognition, to the checkpoint mode, to parking mode. Now, we did not cover today traffic rules. That's going to be, according to the public sector, private. It's not going to be using that. But one more example, or actually two more examples, is kind of to finish this up about the parking mode versus the access control mode. Parking mode, you can have a one-way, one or two-step verification. Probably better is two-step. So you have that vehicle approaching, it's allowed in, and then it's actually controlled whether the vehicle entered or not, and the same upon exit. In the access control mode, is one-step verification. So this requires less channels, less cameras as the previous parking mode, but only a one-step verification if the vehicle's or the barrier is open, and then the barrier opens again for the exit. And in both modes, one or two-step verification. So that first camera can be used to allow it in, and that's it. Or it can be the two-step verification, where this camera scans and allows the vehicle in, and that second camera does a second verification to make sure that the vehicle actually entered and then actually exited. So a more accurate representation. So here's a visual of that. So pulling up the one lane with the two-step verification. And parking mode versus access control mode, only a few of these listed are actually available. And all features are listed in parking mode, but not all of them are going to be in the access control mode, only several of the features. Last example here, parking mode, you just check your results. So in this total allowed on parking in the parking lot 5, but you have here a subcategory. You have the unknown and you have a list 1, so you have preset list. This could be an example of a hospital where you have doctors that have their assigned parking spaces, so they're on list 1. So there's one vehicle from list 1, and then 4 hospital guests that are just visiting for a set duration, and you can check the duration, how long that they have been here. And so from here, I'm going to be stopping my screen share, and my colleague Sergey is going to take over.
Yeah, thank you, Patrick. And hello, everybody. Let me share my screen. I will just show you how it looks in real life. Oh. Yes, second screen. Yes, now I hope you could see. So once again, today we are talking about our server-based application NumberOk. Yeah, and I'm going to show you how it exactly looks like, what functionality it's already have, and how to configure checkpoint and parking mode. So here it's totally easy. In general view, you could just see the live view from the cameras, and you could see that we recognized a license plate we show on the overlay of the video stream. Then when you switch to result tab, here you will be able to see the list with all recognized license plates. So exactly here you could find out the date and time of recognizing. You could find out the recognized license plate, information about direction of vehicle, and information about from which camera this license plate we get. So here we show the channel, so it's mean video channel where this license plate was recognized. Also we show the zone. You could configure up to 4 recognition zones on one camera. For example, if you have if you already install your camera on the highway and you have at least 2 lanes, so you could configure 2 separate recognition zone, and you will get in results information additional about the zone. Also, you could find out here some technical data and information about the country and district. If you now need some information, just for the right mouse button click, you could hide some information. For example, let's hide some technical data. Okay. Then here in our in-car database, you could create your lists. We call also it a group of the vehicles. So here, for example, I create some specific groups: access allowed, stolen vehicles, and visitors. That's just for example. And also here, you're able to manage your access control for this group. For example, for visitors, I configured some extended access, and I just enabled duration 30 minutes for our visitors. Then in vehicles, you will need to add your license plate and also assign it to some specific group. So you have several ways to add your license plate to our database. So you could add it directly from the user interface. For example, let's add some license plate. Yep. You need to input your license plate without the spaces. And also here you could add some additional information about the owner of the vehicle. For example, owner of the vehicle could be I, Serhiy.co, but this car will be driven by my wife, for example. So I could also add information about the owner of the vehicle, and for example, for car users. Also, we are able to add some description to this license plate. We could add some context of vehicle owner. Also, you have the possibility to import license plate to NumberOk's database directly from the simple XML file. For this, first of all, you could export from the NumberOk some example. Let's wait while it exporting. Then when you export this example, you could just add all your license plate to this list and just input it to NumberOk, and it will be updated. Also here in NumberOk, in car database tab, you're able to set up some reactions. I will talk about it a little bit later. Then let's go to our reports. So all information that you see in recognition results, you could see also in reports. So you could generate any report and you will get all the same information about date and time, about the vehicle license plate, about direction, state, and etc., etc. And you could export this information also to XML file. Nope. I export it and I get all of recognized license plate here in XML file. Yeah, and also you can find out here in reports some consolidated results. So we can find information here about the total number of vehicles, also total information for each video channel. And let's go to our settings. Let's start from the general. So here in general settings, you can find all the information about your license. And here you're able to choose your operation mode of the NumberOk. So when you have NumberOk SMB version, it also depends from your type of electronic license. You are able, in SMB version, you are able to choose the mode between recognition. So it's just basic mode. You will be able only see the result, and you will have some possibility to integrate NumberOk to third-party system. But in SMB, you are able to choose between checkpoint and parking mode. So when we choose checkpoint mode, also here in the settings, checkpoint tab will be available for us. But let's start from the connection. So here in connection tab, you are able to connect your video cameras to the NumberOk. So we need to connect video stream to NumberOk. So you have several possibilities. You could connect your IP video camera via RTSP stream. Also, you have a possibility to connect some DVRs, for example, from Hikvision Deho. And here also in this tab, you could choose, you could connect axis camera via the own native protocol. Also, you're able to connect to here Mobotics camera with the specific MXPEC protocol. And also very interesting feature in NumberOk, you're able to play some recorded video file in NumberOk. So it could be useful, for example, for some tests. You could ask your customer to provide your just recorded video from his installed video cameras, and you could play it in NumberOk and just check will it fit for the recognition or not. So for this demonstration, I also using this feature, and I'm playing video for you. And also you could find out here some configuration parameters. So we have specific filter for license plate size. Our recommendation for the license plate width is more than 130 pixels. So you could check it, just make a print screen or just import the image from your camera, put it some, I don't know, Microsoft Paint, and with standard instrument, just measure your license plate width. Also, you could find the information with real license plate size in results. So I was showing you that I hide some technical data, but we'll back there, and I will show how to find this information and to check your real license plate size. Also here, you could set up recognition sensitivity. By the default, it's set up to 50%. But when you get in result some trash recognition or a lot of mistakes, then you should increase your recognition sensitivity, because the normal one is more than 65%. I will also show you how to find the real recognition hit rate in technical data. And also here you are able to set up direction angle. So you could see this arrow moving. We have inbuilt algorithm for detecting vehicle direction. And some additional specific parameter for number plate lost. If you have a situation when somebody stops directly into your camera and stayed, for example, for 30 seconds, if you do not want to get several same results, you just increase this parameter, for example, for 30 seconds, and then in results you will just get this, one result. Okay, so if we are talking about SMB version and checkpoint control and parking management, we need to configure our checkpoint. So here in checkpoint tab, you exactly need to configure a checkpoint. So everything very simple. You just need to choose video stream, video channel, exactly the camera which installed into the entry, you need to choose the camera which installed for the exit. Also, you need to set up access level here for this camera. For example, for the entry, we set up automatic access to authorized. So it means that all vehicles from our database will have access without any permissions. And for exiting vehicles, we just set up access for all vehicles except of denied. So what possibilities do you have? You could choose denied access to all, automatic access to all, automatic access only to authorized, only from our database, and access to all except denied. And also here you're able to configure operating of your barrier, for example. But for operating the barrier, you need to connect your input-output device. You're able to configure it here in integration mode. So here in integration, you will need to connect your input-output device. We already integrated with some specific vendors, so you could find out here ICP does, some barracks, other modules. Also, if you, it's just a short list, but if you couldn't find your input-output module here in our list, you could choose custom and connect your input-output device using this custom protocol. But you should check if your input-output device support Modbus protocol. So if yes, then you could connect it without any problems. Also, you can find it here on fifth option. We are using this option to operate inbuilt cameras relay. It works for Axis and Hanwha cameras. Let's go back here to checkpoint. So when you connect your input-output device, connect the barrier to it, then you will be able to choose to which relay you want to use for open the barrier. Also, you could set up closing the barrier, and here you are able also to connect some inductive loops of photo sensors. So you could also use it for detecting direction of the vehicle. Yes, we have inbuilt video analytic modules, but photo sensor and inductive loops works in 100%. Let's go next. So also, let's talk about integration possibilities of NumberOk. So all the data that we collect in NumberOk could be sent to third-party systems. You have two possibilities how to do it. NumberOk could play role of TCP server, and if you have some software which could play the role of the client, then NumberOk could send all the data via TCP protocol. Second one, NumberOk could send all the data via HTTP protocol. So we send some JSON packages. All of these events described in our documentation. So if you need to integrate NumberOk to your system, we could provide this documentation, and it could be done very easily. About integration with VMS system, for this moment, NumberOk could send generic events to WiseNet Wave VMS. This is from Hanwha, and we could send generic events to the network optics software, to the NX Witness VMS system. Also here in integration, you are able to set up SMTP server, and you could set up mail recipient. You could use it if you want to set up some reactions and send some email notification. Okay, let's, so we configured our checkpoint. Yeah, here I set up some channel for the enter, some channel for the exit. When I set up this feature, I will be able to switch in results to group by number tab. And then I will be able to see the information with duration of staying the vehicle in our territory. So let's find some recognized license plate with this info. And I think, yeah, I think for demo, I have only one camera, yeah, and it shouldn't work properly. So I just get an event trying of enter, yeah. That's why I do not get any information about the exiting, because on my demo video, all vehicles just enter it to my object. And let's go to car database again. And here we have some reactions. So let's talk about reaction. So as a reaction, you could set up some visual reaction. What does it mean? So all or some specific license plate will be highlighted in results with specific color. Also, as a reaction, you could play some sound signal. Also, you could connect input-output module, and you could switch some relay on it. For example, you could switch your traffic light. Also, you could choose show window. So we could show some pop-up window. And you are able to choose send in email notification. And we get several type of events for which you could configure your reaction. For example, just for simple recognition, you could set up additional parameters. If some specific license plate will be recognized from some specific group, for example, from our stolen vehicles group, then I won't get some reaction as email notification and some pop-up window. So here in checkpoint, when you choose as an events from checkpoint, you are able also to get a reaction when somebody have some overtime in our parking area. So you could set up reaction for this event. Also, you able to choose from which checkpoint we get an event and from which group. So you have a different parameters which you could combine and then get your specific reaction. Guys, if you have any questions, please just ask me in chat.
Sergey.
Yeah.
We just had a question that's more kind of commercial one. It is about the pricing. This is a server-based software, and yes, we base our pricing per license on the number of channels included. The cost, MSRP cost of the license for one channel SMB is some $840 US. This is for the end user recommended price. And of course, we do have a structured price for the distributors, for VMS vendors, for the system integrators. So please, if you are interested in your personal price offer, just address us with a request. Thank you. Maybe we've got more questions.
If not, let's go on. But feel free to ask me. Okay, I was just showing about checkpoint mode. So let's switch to parking. When we switch to parking mode.
Sorry to interrupt you,
Yes.
Sergey, we do have a question about server requirements and client requirements. For the server, we do have this written in our user manual, so we could provide this information additionally. But generally, how do we count the requirements? These this is like one core.
If, for example, for one channel 4K resolution for the one video stream with 4K resolution, you need to choose processor with one physical core, 2 threads, and with yeah, for simple calculation, that's all. One physical core with 2 threads. So if you are going to recognize your license plate and you want to use 8 video cameras, then you will need to choose processor with 8 physical cores and 2 threads. And it's in this case, if you also want to use 4K resolution, then in this case, you will need to choose some Intel Xeon processors. But what does it mean? When we say one physical core with 2 threads. Also, I forget if we mentioned or not that we could recognize license plate on the speed up to 150 miles per hour. So when we recommend to choose some specific hardware, then it means that we test it, yeah, and it will work with 4K resolution of camera, and vehicle speed could be up to 150 miles per hour. But if you have some parking, for example, and you want to use full HD camera, which 100% will be exist in this case, then our requirements to hardware could be much more lower. So we have some standard recommendation, yeah, but it could be reviewed for your specific condition, for example. Yeah.
Sergey, we do have a question here about the software, if it can cover the requirements of campus level compounds or Olympic level events, for example. Could we manage like, well, as far as I understand, this is like a big stadium. We had these cases and you've got like 12 or 20 entrances and exits. So can we control all of them simultaneously? Is NumberOk good enough? Because we've got up to 36 per one server. Okay, and we still can combine actually, right? It's not necessary just to buy a build of 36 channels, one license. You could do it like 4, 6, and then connect to one common database, correct? So,
yes. Yeah, so able in one NumberOk version, you are able to connect up to 36 video streams. If you want to use more video channels, you could use several video servers, for example. And in one server, we would store our database. So several NumberOks could work properly with one database, for example.
Please write down if we answered your question. If not, you could leave your email and we will contact you after the webinar for more details. Thank you.
Yep, maybe guys, you just see that you're able to configure only 4 checkpoints here. This is just for my version because I get license only for 2 video channels. But if you will choose NumberOk version with 36 video channels, then you will be able to configure up to 16 checkpoints. Yeah. Okay, let's go on. Just a little bit more information about the parking mode. So when you choose the parking mode, then you are able to configure parking areas. So you will need to add your parking. Everything also very simple. You will just need to input how many places you have in this parking. You will need to set up how many places in this parking you want to set for the vehicles, not from database, for example, for some visitors or something like this. And here you also could set up additional filters for, you could allow date range for vehicle, for staying on the territory. You could also set up here some notification for the vehicle which are overstayed on your parking lot. So when you configure it in results, you also will be able to switch to parking. And here you will be able to see all the information with duration staying on the territory of this vehicle. And here on the left bottom corner, you could find the information about how many free spaces on your parking you have, how many used parking spaces you have, and etc., etc. And also all of this information you could find in report.
Sergey,
Yep.
sorry to interrupt you, but when we are speaking about the vehicle count, right, or free parking spaces, we are not sending this information outside of NumberOk, right? The end user can only see it here, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So all this information available only in NumberOk interface.
Okay, in the desktop client. Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
In NOC UI. And guys, I think that's all about functionalities that I want to tell you about for today, about SMB and POR conversion.
Oh, Sergey, apologies.
But I want to tell you about some tips. Yeah, Alexandra, please.
Okay, tips will follow. There is a question that we mentioned for recognition zones per camera. Can vehicle be going in more than one direction? Can we make a setup with one camera for recognition zones and two zones, for example, one direction in and two zones another direction out?
Yes, you are able to configure it. Unfortunately, these demo videos not so useful to demonstrate how to do it. But for example, let's create several zones. For example, this will be zone 1, and we set up our direction angle just right that. Then we could turn on other recognition zone. Let's configure it and set up it, for example, for other direction. No.
But certainly there will be some requirements to the camera resolution and certain requirements to the camera installation, right?
Yep.
Angles and so on.
So yes, you're able to set up to 4 recognition zones. For each zone, you could set up specific direction, and then in results, you will get direction for this video channel and for this specific zone of recognition. Yep.
Thank you, Sergey.
If I go,
you promised some tips.
Yeah, about tips, guys. I was talking about these configuration parameters, about license plate site, about recognition sensitivity. But when you turn on your NumberOk, it already works. You just will need to connect your camera, set up recognition zone, and leave these parameters. Then when you start to get your first results, here in technical data, you could find a real information about license plate widths, about recognition sensitivity. So let's go here in technical data, and let's talk about these parameters, what we are showing here. So for example, let me stop my videos. It will be easier because results updates every time. Now I stop it. Yeah. So here in technical data, first number, for example, 25 milliseconds. This is information describe us how long we spent for the license plate recognition. Second number, for example, 140 pixels. This is a real width for this license plate, and this license plate match for our license plate recommendation. Also, second parameter is exactly recognition sensitivity level. So for this license plate, we show that it's 0.85. And this is a very good result. And when you get result with lower recognition sensitivity level, for example, 0.5, then you will need to check your camera installation. You should match if your camera installed properly. So main scene, one more time. So Our recommendation, your license plate width on video stream should be more than 130 pixels. Then you should check your camera installation angles. So you should also check your license plate tilt on the image. We recommend you set up, we recommend that since that your license plate in your camera image should be maximal horizontal. So your license plate tilt should be less than 5 degrees, for example. And camera installation angles, horizontal and vertical, should be less than 25 degrees. So if you get here in technical data sensitivity level lower than 0.5, then this is signals you that you should check your camera installation. Your camera installation angles, you even just need to check if your license plate in focused. Okay. Also, which information you could find here in technical data after this recognition sensitivity level, you could see how many times we exactly recognize this license plate. For example, for this license plate, we already recognized it 6 times. And here, next number, 360 degrees. This is a real direction angle of moving of this vehicle. So when you move this direction angle in configuration, yeah, you could see that these numbers are changing. And for this license plate, the real direction angle is 360. Then you check several recognition, and you also could improve your recognition when you change this direction angle here in the settings. Also, we show some additional information about the country and state. If you are using NumberOk in different countries, you are able to see this information in technical data. And as I mentioned, you could hide all of this information with technical data. With if you just want to see your recognized license plate and don't want to see information about direction and etc., you just could hide it and see only your recognized license plate. And what I didn't show you, here in settings general, you also have 2 buttons. You could go directly to the folder with stored screenshots. So we store all screenshots separately. Let's open our folder with screenshots. And also in screenshot name, you could find all the information. So you could find the information about recognized license plate, date, time, channel, and zone. We provide also the full description of screenshot name in our data sheets and user manuals. So you also could find this information there. And also here you have additional button with, and you could go to the folder with all expedites reports with recognized license plate. Guys, maybe you have more questions because I think this is
yes.
all from me for today. Yeah, Alexander.
Sergey, we've got a question. Well, chronologically, we've got 2 extra questions. One is about a remote client. Do we have a remote client and what that client can do? This is a reporter.
Yeah, we have separate version of NumberOk. We call it NumberOk reporter. So it has exactly the same interface as NumberOk, but in NumberOk reporter, you are not able to see the live video from the cameras, but you will be able to see results from your server version of NumberOk. So yes, we have a client version. It calls NumberOk reporter, and you could connect to sublocal NumberOk and see all recognized results from it in NumberOk reporter.
Sergey, but it cannot be done simultaneously to like 10 of NumberOk installed separately and locally. You will need to get an access like consequently, right? One by one. This is the only limitation.
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
And please note, this is to the participants, that you can install only one license of NumberOk per server, because NumberOk speaks to the same database. And in case you are trying to activate 2 licenses, it's impossible. So make sure you deactivate the previous license if you test it. Okay, how about a phone app from the same participant? We do not have a phone app to NumberOk yet. Do we have it on the roadmap?
No.
Right now, no.
No.
Okay. Well, and but we definitely could look into the case. What is the requirement? And the other question that I promised to you, Sergey, are any countries' license plates not covered at this point, please? Maybe I will answer here, Sergey, and you will correct me if I am wrong. It depends which continent we are speaking. If we are speaking like Americas, then North America Library, we plan to merge it, Canada and the United States by the end of the year. And we will also complement it with Mexico end of the year, or start of the following year. And this will be one common North American library. Then it will be complemented with Latin America and Central America, of course. But if we are speaking, if any country's license plates are not covered, then, well, there are still some countries in Africa and in Asia that are not covered. This is true. Well, I think I will stop at this point. I do not think that I will need to go any further and mention any car or vehicle detection without a plate, because now our algorithm is based on license plate recognition, right? Anywhere we are searching for the license plate and we say, aha, this is the license plate, then the area around it should be a vehicle. Let's recognize some more parameters. Sergey, anything that?
Yes, Alexandra, you're absolutely right.
Okay, I hope I answered. If not, please ask us more and we could answer to you after the webinar. Sergey, do you have any additional? Philippines, if Philippines is covered, no, Philippines is not at the moment. And it's not on our immediate roadmap, unfortunately. Okay, do we have more questions? Okay. Sergey, would you like to add anything? Otherwise, I will just finalize and give.
No, Alexandra, I think that's all for today. Yeah, if guys, if you are interested in more technical data or information, yeah, we could plan some specific technical webinar. Yeah, and then I could told you about our recommendations, how to choose camera for recognition, how to properly set up it, how totally design the system for the recognition. We'll talk about some tips and tricks. So just mail us and I think we could prepare some specific technical webinar. So Alexander, I think that's all from me.
Good, thank you very much. Just a short kind of administrative announcement. After the webinar, we will send to you the link to the video, to the recorded video from the webinar. So for those who joined us later, please feel free to review the video that you will resend via the link. Just to mention that for the further webinars on specific installations and integrations and maybe setting how to get the best LPR, what are the critical angles and what are the critical conditions for the installations, because usually in the real life, we never get an ideal condition for the installation. Yes, we are planning on that. And I think at the end of October, start of November, or maybe earlier, we will announce a row of webinars dedicated to different features, how to set up reactions, how to set up best LPR, how you can play with the zones, etc. And of course, please stay tuned. We will advise you when we have the merge of the Canadian and United States library, when we have Mexico added, and we will be glad to support and serve your needs. So thank you very much. We will be in touch, and thank you for your time for attending our webinar.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you, everybody, and have a nice day. Bye.
Patrick, thank you.
Yep. Thank you, everybody, for attending.
Thank you. Bye-bye.